Happy Sunday. We have, two Bobbies and one JJ with Bobby and JJ Radio. Mr. Bobby Yamanka is here. He's been an attorney since 2010, and he's with a law firm, Joyner and Joyner, that specialize in small business law, immigration, criminal defense, personal injury, and estate planning and probate. I want to say, Bobby, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure. So talk about Joyner and Joyner, yourself, how'd you get into law, who you're servicing, and what you're specializing in yourself.
Well, the firm started in 2011, and
okay.
I had the opportunity to go to school with both of the Joyners, both undergrad and law school.
They're twins.
They're twins.
Yeah.
So they're tall twins.
They are tall.
So
they stand out in San Antonio for sure.
Definitely.
So after law school, they're a couple years older than me, so they're already here in San Antonio. I ended up in San Antonio working in corporate.
Sure.
And after a while, we ended up incorporating the law firm, primarily in criminal defense originally,
sure.
as it was just us three of us.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we've been established and we're expanding, we're able to offer more services to our clients.
Right. And so what do you feel really separates your law firm from the competition? Because obviously there's a lot of law firms out here. We obviously, every time we send anyone to you guys, it's very positive and great feedback. But what do you feel that separates you all from your competition?
Well, thanks for the referrals.
Sure.
There's so many attorneys in town, and I think part of it is also a result of having a law school in town.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of solo practitioners. I think one of the main things that separate us is that there's multiple attorneys in this office.
Right.
And aside from that, I mean, most attorneys are knowledgeable. Everyone's in good standing, practicing law. But I think the client service is the big difference with our firm. One of the biggest complaints that you hear is hard to get a hold of an attorney, hard to get a call back, and we pride ourselves in that. Client service is the big thing that we instill in our office.
Sure.
And you can see it. You can see it from the reviews and the feedback we get from our clients.
Yeah, and that is a huge thing. I think lawyers, I mean, my dad was a retired judge, so that was always the biggest complaint is we gave him a retainer and then we couldn't get a hold of him for months.
It's the same for our field of work too.
Yeah, real estate and law.
Biggest complaint.
Yeah.
You just can't get a hold of them once you hire them.
Yeah, and so if you guys are separating yourself in that way, I'm thinking it's probably crucial more than anything. So we're talking entrepreneurs today, right? That's what we have in the show. And so talk about the importance of having a correct formation when you're starting a business.
Right. So many people come to us and say, I have a lawn service or a pool service, and then you see them running their shop for years and years and years as a sole proprietorship. You know, their typical DBA.
Right.
That's what their dads told them to do.
Sure.
And that's what they saw their parents do. And nowadays it's so important to have the right formation. And when we're talking about the formation, you're talking about, okay, does it make sense to be a partnership because I have to have a business partner? Does it make sense to do an LLC that we've been seeing more commonly? What are the liabilities? What are the
tax
positives and
benefits,
negatives, tax benefits of having that? It is super simple to get incorporated with the Secretary of State.
Right.
But that's not all of it. Where we come in as attorneys is to have the operating agreements, the right contracts in place. A lot of the messes that people get into, even if it's small claims court, is because they don't even have a service agreement for the work that they're doing, and then they have trouble collecting, their money later.
Give me an example of that.
Well, contractors.
Okay.
A lot of contractors. You hear the horror stories of the contractor that left your house halfway done and disappeared with their money. Well, on the other side is there's a lot of contractors, especially folks that act as subcontractors, that are having problems getting paid by these bigger companies because they never had a proper agreement in place.
Gotcha.
And a lot of them think that it's so expensive to have an attorney draft an agreement, but it's not. You can make an agreement as simple as a work order, but at least you're covering yourself and your company by having the proper documentation in place.
Yeah, and you're able to, if they don't pay, then you can put liens and stuff like that in order.
You have a lot of other options
than just saying, like, I hope you pay me one day.
Yeah, it's like, you told me you were going to pay me.
Yeah.
That doesn't really, get us a good start in court.
And so what about having an online presence as an entrepreneur? How crucial do you feel that is nowadays?
Oh, it's huge. I had an opportunity to speak at the small business incubator here in San Antonio recently, and I told all these folks that were starting their businesses, if I can't find you on my phone, you might as well not exist.
Right.
So
just lock it up, close the doors.
I mean, the online presence is huge. It's been huge for us. Having a website that's mobile friendly. asking for the referrals, asking for the reviews, making sure people are following up. If you're doing a great job and you're proud of your business, don't be afraid to ask for those reviews.
Sure.
Because people will look at those Google reviews all day long when they're determining who to hire.
Yeah, and that goes a long way. And like, again, in our field, people want to see that other people have used you and like you and trust you before they can make a move and use you themselves.
Well, I think even 15 years ago, you could probably own a business, not have a website, and now you just assume that someone's like, doing this with their mustache and with a white fold-out table in the garage trying to figure out how to steal your money if you don't have like an actual presence online, right?
Right.
I think it's almost like it's the bare minimum of credibility, and then from there it goes up to how much information is on there. Are there testimonials? Are there recommendations? Go into actual content and pages of the website.
Yeah, it's starting completely different than the last generation, right? Whereas before, people were thinking, how do I get my brick and mortar? How do I rent some office space? I mean, the main thing that you need to think about is how do I get my online presence up so people can find me? And a lot of times people are working just from their home. Talking
about finding them, go to joynerlawfirm.com. That's JOYNER lawfirm.com, or you can call them at 210-722-9089. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Bobby, and JJ Radio.